Hi everybody, I have the second card in my June 2022 online card class, and I love this card. It's very simple and all of it is just about the coloring, and the colors I used for this are one of the new colors, and this is Parakeet Party, Balmy Blue. Then I used Blushing Bride, Daffodil Delight, and for the sentiment I used Early Espresso. Nope, I used Soft Suede. Forgot what I used. So I used Soft Suede. It seemed to be the best for this card. And then I used the Champagne Rhinestones in the middle. You could use anything. You could use pearls. Oops, let me put these over here. Or you could use the new In Color Opal Rounds. I think these are so pretty. You could do it in yellow. Or you could just, you know, mix and match them, doing it in pink and blue. I think that would be really pretty too. But before I get started, I want to show you something, and I'm going to have to bring in the big shot for this. I just want to show you real quick before we get started. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I did use this embossing folder on the Parakeet Party, and it is the Time Worn type, and it's just so pretty. It just adds such dimension. It has words and just all kinds of stuff on it. It's just so pretty. So this is really nice, and I keep my envelopes that my big dies come in when I take them out and put them with my stamp set, and then they're perfect for these big embossing folders, and then you can just keep them in there and it keeps them protected. And I like it. I can store them that way. So, you know, you never know what you can use something for. Reuse it. I like to use my stuff as much as possible. So I'm going to show you real quick. Bring this in. And I'm going to turn it around so you can see. So when you are cutting our dies, you use plate 1, plate 2, and 2 of the plate 3. So when I was running these through, I was doing a lot of cuts, and sometimes your dies want to stick, and I know I've probably showed you this before, but I'm going to show you again. So let's bring in a piece of, and I use the shimmery white cardstock because I like it for coloring, and then you just put your die on it and run it through. Just a tad. Okay, since I don't have much space, I'll just run it back through and give it a good impression. But you don't have to do it twice. You can run it through once. But when you go to take it off, it's very sticky. Your paper just sticks to it, and that's not a bad thing on most of them, but some of them, you know, you don't want them to stick. This one, it helps pop up the pieces. But if you have a die that is sticky, take some good old wax paper. This is just wax paper, and I just tore it to the size that I needed. You put your paper down, and then you put your wax paper on top of it, and then you put your die down. And I know when I did this video before, I showed you the magnetic plate. The magnetic plate has been taken off the market because it was separating. I was so sad. I was so excited that we were going to have a magnetic plate for our dies, but it just didn't work out. So Stampin' Up! Took it off of the market because it wasn't up to their standards, which is a good thing, but I just wish that it would have worked for us. So then what you want to do is you just take your die off, and it just comes right off, and then you just take your wax paper and peel it off, and that way it doesn't stick to your paper. If you have some sticky dies and they're not doing the job, just get some wax paper and see if that helps. It creates some lubrication, I guess, or just makes it so it's not as sticky, and you can run it through. So let's put those to the side. And this is the die set I love these dies. And remember, I told you before, these do not cut out the shape. They just pop up. And that's why they're called pretty pop-ups. And even these ones, they just pop up. Wait, let me show you this one. I know I showed it to you before, but I'll show it to you again. This is the one that I made. I just think it is beautiful. This is Petal Pink and Blushing Bride. And it just pops your, you can take your pick tool, you know, and pop these up. Pop them out some more. But when you give them to people, you know, and you send them through the mail, of course these are going to flatten out. But I think they're so pretty. So let's get to the card. I could just play all day. Get these things out of the way. And these are the pieces that you're going to get. You're going to get your piece that I cut out. And then you're going to get a piece of pretty Parakeet Party. I want to call it pretty, but it's Parakeet Party. And then I ran it through the embossing folder. And then you'll get a card base. And I did cut these down to 4 by 5.5. I thought it looked better. And when you get yours, you'll get the pretty Parakeet Party ribbon that goes with this, like I did in the sample. But I ran out, so I have to use some blue. And that's okay. You could also use the new In Color Twine. It's really pretty. And it's just so pretty. But I'm going to use the blue this time. So when you get yours, what you want to do is you want to take your pick tool and you want to turn this over and you want to start popping up your pieces, because this makes it easier for you to color. So just pop all of these up. It'll take you just a few minutes, and you know, once you get into the rhythm, it goes pretty quick, I think. You know, hopefully you'll like it. So I colored mine with my water painters. You could color them if you wanted a little more sparkle. You could actually color with your Wink of Stella. So I'm just going to show you just a little bit. I'm not going to make you watch me color the whole thing, because I know you know how to color. But I just do want to show you, if you want to paint with your Wink of Stella, just put this up here and just squeeze the barrel just a little bit to get a little bit out of it, and then you can just dab in your color. And of course I'm going to paint this dragonfly blue. I think the dragonfly just has to be blue. I mean, you might see some other color and you want to color it, but I love this balmy blue. It's so pretty. So you just color, and it gives you that extra shimmer. So pretty. So then just take a Kleenex or something and take the color out of it, and then you can move on to your other color. And if you want to use just your water painters, here are the water painters, and I just use the fine tip one. So then you just get some ink in your ink pad there, and then don't squeeze your barrel if you don't have to, because it really does get wet, and you just want to start coloring in your leaves. Isn't this Parakeet Party just the most beautiful thing? You could paint them while they're down, but I found it was easier to pop them up. It's just whatever you want to do. However you find it the easiest to color is what works for you. You can put a little color on and come back and add some more, or you can make it dark to begin with. And then if you notice that your water painter's getting too wet, just drag it on your paper towel or Kleenex, whatever you have handy, and then just go back to painting. These water painters, they're so sweet. I love to paint with them. But like I said, you can use your Wink of Stella. That'll give you all kinds of extra sparkle. So let's move on to the next color. And you just squeeze your barrel and get the color out of it, and then you can go on to your next color. And I used Daffodil Delight. I think I need a new ink pad, but it still works. This is one of the old style. So you just color your butterflies in. Seems like it's getting a little wet. So what I do is I just color them, and then I let them dry a little bit, and I come back. You can tell there's little indentations in here, so I just come back and get the straight color and just color those dots in. I think it's so pretty. And you can color these whatever color you want. I like yellow, and all these colors, I think they just go well together. So it doesn't take long to color these, and you can make them light, dark, you know. Like I said, I like to come back in and add the dots. If you know me, you know I like dots, speckles. So then just squeeze your barrel, go into your next color, which is Blushing Bride. Love Blushing Bride. So pretty. And this one is a really old ink pad. You can tell I had added Wink of Stella or one of the shimmer paints to this a long time ago, and it's still in there. So then I just did the flowers, the leaves, with the Blushing Bride. So then in the center of the flowers, I just came in with my Wink of Stella and just put the little dots in there. It just adds a little bit of something to it, you know. I put it in all the flowers, right in their centers. And then I also use some of the rhinestones in the center, wherever you want them. But isn't that pretty? Alright, so let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to show you, this is the stamp that I used for the thank you. And it says thank you for everything. And I just wanted to use the thank you. So what I do is I take my tape. You can take tape, or you can take anything to mask it off. You could use a Post-it note and just cover up the words. So all you do is you just put your tape right over the words. Just make sure you got it all covered up, and then you just ink it up. And I do try only to ink up the words that I'm going to be using, but you just take and you peel off your tape, throw it away, and then you are just left with a thank you, and you can stamp it right here. So that way you can get the words, just the words that you want, and you don't have to stamp everything. Alright, so just to put this card together, you just want to add, so I have this one that I already colored. Put this to the side, and then I'll bring back in my rhinestones. And you can just put them in the center of your flowers. I like the big flowers to have these. Where did it go? This last one on. Right. So let's put this to the side. Oops, there's that one. Stick him back over here. Okay. And all you want to do is you want to add this to your parakeet party. And I try just to go around the edges and glue it down. I don't put any in the center because I want all my pop-ups to still be able to pop up. And if you put glue on them, then they're not going to be able to pop up. So just add enough glue so it will hold it. And then you want to add your ribbon. If you don't want the ribbon, you know, you don't have to put it on there, but I think it adds a little something. Oops. Having ribbon issues. Okay, so just want to tie it. And if you want to add some stability, just tape this on the back. And then it'll hold it in place so that you can tie it easier. Sometimes you need more hands than what you have, so this way it will hold it in place for you without it wiggling around. I want to turn it over here. Isn't that pretty? I love ribbon. So then you can just add it to your card base. You are ready to go. Just trim up your ribbon. You know, I might have to play with it some more, so I'm going to leave it that length for right now. And there's your card. Right, there you go. I hope you like it. Have fun coloring, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.